فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له والصلاة والسلام على حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And may Allah make this day a blessed day for each and every one of you. And may He make us amongst those who hold on to the wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen Salamullahi ta'ala alayh, the commander of the faithful Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdal salati was salam. I say this as we address on a day that is considered one of the most important days of the year, the day of Al-Ghadir. I guarantee you, you don't know the importance of this day. I guarantee you, you don't. Let's start with this. Fasting this day, guys, let's cool down for a second, okay? Fasting a day like today helps you in clearing the sins of 60 years. Fasting a day like today equates to fasting your entire lifetime. Knowing the value of what today is may impact the way you look at this life altogether. The dear brother who recited the Holy Quran beautifully, mashallah, he selected intelligently a verse that was recited in the advent of the day like today. Today is Eid Al-Ghadir. I'm not going to take a long time. And I can see that we need to work on the some of the energy here. Maybe it's a long day today. But I want to relay one piece of information. What does this day mean for you? Or should mean for you? Eid Al-Ghadir, it's a day that defines one of the pillars of our religion. On this day, a verse was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, stating to all the Muslimin, "Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum." Today your religion has been what? Completed. Wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati. And I perfected my blessings unto you. Frankly, some of us, okay, but what does that mean to me? Because religion and its centrality in my life is not so clear, these words may not echo in your mind. But I guarantee you, each and every one of you, I guarantee you, with no doubt, one day, one instant in your life, you would say, I wish I knew. And I wish I did something about it. It's the day that you will be held responsible for what you have been given in this life of yours, and you're going to be questioned about what you have done. If you think this will not happen, you're mistaken. Because this is a reality. This reality is that we have been given a gift. أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تَرْجِعُونَ. Do you think that we created you in vain and that you will not return to us? The Quran, see, there's a law. I have a pencil here. This pencil has mass. In physics, what do you learn? The moment anything with mass is let go and there is nothing to stop it, it will do what? It will fall down. It's a law in physics. It's defined You can try it over and over and over again. There are laws in the world of the unseen, in our lives, in your life. I guarantee you, if you don't pay attention to them, you'll regret it and you'll feel sorry. One of those laws. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu attaqullah. O you who believe, be God-worthy. Be aware of Him. وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. And every soul should look into what it has prepared for tomorrow. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. And be God-worthy. إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. God is fully aware of everything you do. If I take the time to reflect on these words, it gives me, if I take apart the verse, O you who believe, be God-weary. Meaning what? Have God, be God-conscious. Don't be distracted by everything in life and you forget God. And he said, and look into yourself, reflect, look deep. وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. What it had prepared for tomorrow. Today, when myself and my brother Ali were crossing the borders, it says, have your documents prepared. It required us to do what? To prepare our documents ahead of time. If we did not have our documents prepared, what would the Border Patrol agent say? Why? I told you to. The expectation is, when there's a command from an authority, is that we heed to it and we prepare ourselves. Allah Azza wa Jal, in this verse, He says, وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. Every soul should look into what it has prepared for tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Today's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday. He's not talking about Saturday. He's not talking about next week. He's not talking about next month or next year. He's talking about the big picture in your life. He is talking, Allah the Almighty, He is talking about your future self. Where is it? How is it? How are you shaping your future self? Do you know that future self of yours? You'll grow into something. What is that you'll grow in? In today's world, when we live and we experience, we see that ideas bombard us from different places, all over the place. These ideas shape our mind. They make who we are. In psychology, they talk about cognitive behavioral therapy. They say when someone is acting in a certain way, when someone is behaving in a certain way, if you want to understand the reason of his behavior or her behavior, understand the feelings that produce those behaviors. And if you want to understand those feelings, understand the ideas. Because I tell you, if someone lacks self-respect, he'll disrespect others. People talk through their behaviors while they don't realize it. You know, some people lack. I was a bit surprised when the brother introduced and said, have some respect to the speaker. Don't worry about it. I won't be hurt. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me for me. It bothers me if someone disrespects for themselves, because it speaks loud about who they are. But I know one thing though. If you guys and you ladies took the time to come here today, there's something great about each and every one of you. There's some greatness about you. You know why? Because something is connecting each and every one of you with someone called Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. This individual, what we care for, to come and talk and listen about him, because we want to shape our future selves in his image. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? You doubt that? Isn't that what you aim to do? Isn't that your ultimate goal and objective? to shape who you are, your future self, in accordance to the greatness of the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullahi ta'ala alayh, the students of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. How do I shape the future self of mine, my own future self, in their image? Dear brothers and sisters, it starts with respecting who you are and giving yourself value. Allah Azza wa Jal gives you a lot of value. He says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Listen to what he says. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا. He swears by the sun and its brilliance. وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا. And then the moon that follows the shams, the sun. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا. And then the day that exposed and showed the brilliance of the sun. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا. And then the night casts its darkness over it. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا. What? He talks about the heavens. And what about the heavens? And he who بَنَاهَا, he created it. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا. And the earth, and he who extended it. The sun, the moon, the day, the night, the skies, the heavens, and the earth. He's talking about the time and space in which we exist. Then he gives that punchline. What is that punchline? وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا. And the self and he who created it. Yourself, myself, you as an individual. He says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. He inspired the self of yours, the good and the bad, its corruption and its discipline. And he says, here's the ending point. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. The sign of success is purifying that self of yours. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. And he who corrupts that self of his or hers fails. In few words, Allah Azza wa Jal describes who we are and the importance of us, the importance of you. Have you taken yourself this serious or not? Because whether you like it or not, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. There is a reality, there's a law in the Holy Quran. We are from Him and to Him we return. Which means, whether you like it or not, there's a day you'll stand and you'll be questioned about everything. In Surah Al-Zalzala, what does God say? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. When that massive earthquake takes place, وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. And then it will throw out all that it carried. وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. Man will be asking, what is happening to it? يَوْمَئِذٍ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا. On that day, it will talk about its news and it will tell you its stories. بِأَنَّ رَبَّكَ أَوْحَى لَهَا. That its Lord has inspired it to do what? أَوْحَى لَهَا. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَخْرُجُ النَّاسُ أَشْتَاتًا. On that day, people will be resurrected in groups. Why? Here is the punchline. لِيُرَوْا أَعْمَالَهُمْ. So they can be shown everything they have done. Everything. So what is the end point? فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. Whoever does an atom worth of good shall see it. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. An atom worth of evil, you shall see it. Nothing escapes him. Nothing escapes that book that is being handled by the angels. The Quran says on the day of judgment we'll stand before him. And when we see that book holding everything we have done, مَا لِهَذَا الْكِتَابِ, what is wrong with this book? لَا يُغَادِرُ صَغِيرَةً أَوْ كَبِيرًا, not a little, not a big, everything إِلَّا أَحْصَاهَا فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ. Everything was gathered and collected in a book. Why? Because you matter, and your life is not just these moments here. When you realize that, you understand that you need something that can shape the future self to deserve what Allah Azza wa Jal created you for. Don't underestimate yourself. Our biggest problem is not taking our lives and ourselves seriously. And then, when we grow up, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and on, you start evaluating yourself. Let me tell you, what's the average age here? 20 years maybe? Maybe 20, right? Have you ever heard of a scholar called Ibn Sina, Avicenna? Avicenna was a great medical doctor, philosopher, theologian, jurist. He's an amazing genius and thinker. At the age of 20, he reached positions in knowledge that had him with no challenger to be a leading scholar. At the age of 20. We have examples of our grand scholars, dear brothers and sisters, that at a young age, at the age of 20, 25, they reached heights. Some of us, though, take life so relaxed. It's okay. What do you fill your time with? Because remember, you know time is what? Time is what? Time is money, right? That's the American way. The Quranic way is different. You know what the Quranic way is? فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ دَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى. An atom worth of good you shall see, an atom worth of evil you shall see. Meaning what? Time is either reward or punishment. You decide your end game and future self, how to shape it and how it will be. The decision is yours. The time is in your hand. Amir al-Mu'minin Salamullahi ta'ala alayhi says, time and opportunities, chances, they travel like cloud. Once it passes, it's gone. The second, once it passes, it's gone. A lot of us at your age may not take things seriously. But you know greatness and success is built, the foundation of it, in your time, at your age. There is, I believe, Maxwell has a saying in one of his books. He says, a person is defined, his career and his success, based on how many hours he or she puts in their space of experience and their space of interest. Where is it that you think you're interested in or you're interested to become? Where is it that you spend time? Look at your time. شوية guys. You and the, either I speak or you speak. One of us. If you want to speak, تعال هون. أهلا وسهلا. أهلا وسهلا. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Okay? If not, let me finish, then we can speak together. Okay? صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Let me tell you, I'm going to call it out. Why? You may not be interested. I have no problem. Wallah, I do not get offended. If you don't want to, you don't have to be here. But someone who came here may want to listen. Don't take their time. You cannot make that choice for them. All right? Good? Thank you. Having said that, it is imperative to understand that time is valuable. What are you spending your time doing? Seriously, ask yourself. Before we talk about the importance of Eid Al-Ghadir, this day, we need to understand the importance of me. I. What do I mean? What do you mean? Because you are valuable the moment Allah Azza wa Jal brought you to this life. There's a meaning, or else you would not have the opportunity that you have. The opportunities are endless. The one amazing thing that you can claim, that you get to know those who He chose, like Fatimata wa abiha wa ba'liha wa baniha, like Lady Zahra alayhi salam, her father Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alih, Al-Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi ta'ala alayh. What do they mean in your life? What role they play in your life? What role they play in shaping the future you? And I want to keep on repeating, the future self. You in the future, you in tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Time passes so quickly. Time passes so fast. Suddenly, you're busy. You don't have time. Now, at this age, you may have time. What have you done to yourself to make sure that you nurture the self that Allah gave you, the amana, the trust, so you are successful in this life? How is it that you define success in your own life? God did not create you in vain. God created you knowing that you can fulfill your own potential, but you don't know what it is. How many of you guys work out? Raise your hand. All right. When you work out, you have a coach. You have someone that maybe is spotting you, right? What are they trying to do? When you try to bench, don't worry, I don't bench. But when you try to bench, what does he do? He supports you. But is he lifting the bar? No. He puts it right under. What does he do? Just in case you cannot hold it, you drop it, he's there. Because if you're holding it and you can't, and you pull back, it may what? Break your arm, hurt you. So he's just helping you. But every time he taps it a little bit to help you what? Push further, push further. What is he trying to do? Is he trying to know how much you can bench? Or is he trying to push you to your best potential, so you can find out how much you can bench and how much you can push? The coach is trying to do what? Help you be successful, so you can push yourself further and further. And until you push yourself to the limit, you never know what is that limit of yours. And even when you say, I'm done, I can't do anymore. But then you go and you feel so great. You may feel a little bit of tiredness, a little bit of, but then in the morning, you feel like, oh my God, I can take on the world. All this energy kicks in. What do you want to do? You want to go try again and want to push more, right? When you see the results, you want to push further and further. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah Almighty, it created us so we can find out our fullest potential. And to do that, He guided us. And He gave us Al-Quran Al-Kareem and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam as guide to this growth. But it's not the physical growth alone, it is the emotional and the mental growth. This emotional and mental growth, it's defined by your discipline, by your respect, self-respect, self-discipline. That's why you see like someone, Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi ta'ala alayh, he was in a battlefield when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam saw in the battle of Al-Khandaq, in the trenches, when Amr ibn Uwaid crossed the trenches, all the Muslims were lined up. And he called to them. He said, listen, you claim that anyone killed today will go to heaven. Who wants me to send him straight to heaven? Amr ibn Uwaid was known to be equal to 1,000 warriors in Arabia. Al-Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam looked at all the Muslims. They were all lined up. He said, Man li Amr, who shall go and fight Amr, and I guarantee him heaven today. Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi ta'ala alayh, he spoke and said, Ana lahu ya Rasulullah, I am for him. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam looked at Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam and told him, patience, Ya Ali, patience. He repeated the request again. He goes, Man li Amr wa ana adman lahu al-jannah. Who is to fight Amr, and I will guarantee heaven for him. None of the Muslims said anything. And Amir al-Mu'mineen said, Ana lahu ya Rasulullah, I am for him.